Hi, everyone. My name is Julie Hardesty, and I'm a metadata analyst at Indiana University. And today I will briefly share about some work happening in the Samvera community to enable Hyrax, our software engine used to generate a digital repository access and management application to use Fedora 6 as the storage backend for the digital content stored and managed in Hyrax. I also want to shout out to Erin Griffith, the program manager for Fedora, because a lot of the slide content here is based on the update she gave on this same work at the Samvera Connect conference last month. So I think in essence, if you've heard that update, then you've heard this update. So I will continue forward. So the Hyrax Fedora 6 working group originally started to scope and document the changes needed in Hyrax to allow connections to Fedora 6 so that that version of Fedora can be used as a storage backend and to be able to move away from using Fedora 4. And this was part of a larger effort in the community to separate the Hyrax web application functionality from connector functionality. So the connector functionality that's used to connect to storage backend to any sort of backend storage, and that storage adapter layer is the work that's happened there is what we call Valkyrie. And fully Valkyrizing Hyrax means that we can create connections to various different storage backends, including Fedora 6, but not just Fedora 6. It makes it possible to connect to a variety of storage backends. So Hyrax 5 was released in January with full Valkyrization in place. And then the work for this working group became about making a connector to Fedora 6 specifically, testing with it and offering a migration pathway from Hyrax with Fedora 4 to Hyrax with Fedora 6. So Erin shared this list of folks in her update at Samvera Connect, and I want to share the list of people involved here as well, because this work has involved folks from both the Samvera community and the Fedora community. And thank you to all of these contributors for your work to date and for your ongoing efforts. So Hyrax 5.1.0 was released. The work that's happened this year is what this is about here. So Hyrax 5.1.0 was released in April this year, and that includes the Fedora 6 connector. And we also packaged an internal test app in the Hyrax Docker container called Serenia. And that allows you to spin up a Hyrax-based web application locally that's using Fedora 6 as its backend storage. So you can try it that way. And that same Serenia test app is what we are using for the demo site that is publicly available right now at f6.nurax.samvera.org. So you don't have to run anything locally to try this out. You can try it out online. And the Fedora community directly helped with this Hyrax work this year as well by making a change to support encoded slashes. And that's maybe kind of sounds like a smaller change, but I think it was significant in being able to allow the Hyrax development work to move forward. So thank you for that 6.5.1 release. That made a difference for the Hyrax work that we did. And this year, the working group also defined use cases for performance test comparison between Hyrax with Fedora 4 and Hyrax with Fedora 6. And for performance testing, stakeholders from a couple of institutions tested using Hyrax with Fedora 4 initially to get kind of a baseline. So they tested and recorded times to complete 15 different use case tasks that we defined for performance testing. And now that Hyrax with Fedora 6 is available, those same use cases are being tested and timed again by those institutions to get a time comparison. So that's ongoing, and we will see that. And additionally, with the f6.nurax demo site that's available online, we have requested that the community help us to test the performance of Hyrax with Fedora 6 as well. And we've gathered a few responses so far and recorded times for 8 of the 15 use case tasks that we have for performance testing. And we're still actively inviting folks to basically grab your favorite stopwatch and give things a try and record what happens. So part of the reason we're still in this performance testing mode is that this is phase 1 of performance testing. And that means these 8 use cases that we are asking folks to try right now don't require that there are collections already in place with more than 5,000 works in them. So we've got another phase that we are building to. Phase 2 testing is going to be kind of including the other 7 use cases of the 15 that we've identified. And those 7 use cases do require that there are collections in place already containing more than 5,000 works. And what's going on right now is that we don't have the capability to do bulk import of works into Serenia. So getting collections set up with 5,000 works to start is a blocker for the moment. And that's on the test app that's deployed at f6.newrax. So that ability is in progress, and I think it will be available soon, so we can continue and complete all the performance testing that we're wanting to do. But phase 1 testing so far is showing that Hyrax with Fedora 6 is performing much better than Hyrax with Fedora 4 on those initial 8 use cases at least. Oops, sorry, I'm not quite done there. So we did have one use case of those 8 that we've been trying so far, and it was not initially showing as improved of a test time as the improvement we were seeing in the other use cases. And it turned out, after looking into it, that changes were needed within Hyrax and not Fedora 6 to speed up the performance on that use case. So overall, we are seeing a much better situation using Fedora 6 as the backend storage for Hyrax, which is really great. So that is what I have. And the QR code will take you to the Hyrax Fedora 6 working group wiki page. And thank you to Aaron for that QR code. And there's more details there and links to the community testing opportunity to try out f6.newrax if you want to. So thank you. And I think at this point there's probably time for a question or two.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We got time for questions. We also just in the adding to, there was a communication that we released to both communities not that long ago, maybe a month or so ago, that had a lot of this information in it, but that is also available on the wiki space if you wanted to go through and see those specific details. But yeah. Any questions? All right. Well, thank you so much, Julie.